Hey, happy champers, Marnie from Bubble and Flute here, and today I'm really excited to be doing a video tasting with you, introducing a brand new champagne house. Now, I've never tried this champagne house before, and it is only available through 2 online distributors here in Australia, so it's a little bit hard to get your hands on. But ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased to introduce to you Champagne, Boll Cie, which the CCIE is like the French is company. So we'd write and co, they write and C. So now I first came across Boll on Instagram. So I started following them on Instagram and I was intrigued because it's like, wow, this is a champagne brand that I can't get in Australia. And I wanted to visit them when I was going to Champagne in 6 weeks' time. But they're actually closed for renovations at the moment. But instead, the distributor reached out to me and sent me some details about how I could get my hands on the champs. And since then, I've been having some amazing email chats with Brian from Boll and Company and been talking about the champagnes. And he was kind enough to send me my own private little storybook about the company, as well as Boll Cie champagne bucket, which I can add to my champagne paraphernalia collection. So the story of the house. So it was actually established in 1853 by Antoine Boll. And it was in its heyday incredibly successful. It was known for being very high quality, and it was stocked in Harrods in London and was very popular in the US as well. Unfortunately, when Antoine passed away in the early 1900s, his remaining family didn't seem to be all that excited about managing a champagne house on an ongoing basis. So the champagne brand in the house lay dormant for many years until quite recently, where it was resurrected by a passionate group of champagne fans, and they have relaunched to the market. So what makes it special is they focus 100% on Chardonnay and low dosage. So they don't like adding a lot of sugar to their champagnes because, as we know, adding sugar changes the taste and it tastes like sugar and less like champagne. So currently on the market in Australia, they have both of the champagnes here that we're about to try, which is a non-vintage Blanc de Blanc, as well as a vintage Grand Cru Blanc de Blanc from 2010. And I have it on good authority from Brian that they are launching a Jose and a Ratafia, which is another style, which I'll introduce you to on another day, into the Australian market as soon as June. He's literally waiting for the shipment to come. So after tasting these two wines, I cannot wait to get my hands on those, being a huge rosé fan, as you would know if you've been following me for a while. So let's get a little deep into talking about the two different champagnes. So the first style that we have here is their non-vintage Blanc de Blanc. So for a non-vintage, this is aged on lees for 5 years, which is a really long time. And that does come across in the taste of the champagne. So it's required by law for champagne, non-vintage champagne, to be aged a minimum of 15 months. Now, most houses will do 3 years. Some push it out to 4 years for a non-vintage. 5 years for a non-vintage is really exciting. So again, being a Blanc de Blanc, what you would expect from 100% Chardonnay champagne is that it's going to be really fresh and light. And the non-vintage is exactly that. Lovely, fresh and citrusy, a really nice fine bubble. And to taste it, just gorgeous, lovely and fresh, a subtle hint of lime, but a beautiful champagne. So in contrast, I didn't say is the dosage they're both extra brut champagnes, which means they will be less than 8 grams per litre of dosage, and the non-vintage is a little bit more at 7 grams per litre, and the vintage Grand Cru Blanc de Blanc that we're about to try is 7 grams per litre. So I actually, when I first tasted these, I had a stab in the dark and said about 6 grams a litre for each of them, so I wasn't far off the mark, so a little bit proud of myself there. So Again, being a vintage champagne from 2010, this is 100% grapes of the 2010 vintage. The other difference from this champagne is the Chardonnay grapes, Blanc de Blanc, 100% Chardonnay. The Chardonnay grapes are sourced from 100% Grand Cru villages, so that is the top quality, most exciting terroir that you would expect for Chardonnay grapes. And 2010, so it's 100% from the year of 2010. And instantly, this smells to me, it's still fresh, but it's got a really sweet floral aroma that goes with it. Now, in their tasting notes, they talk about lime trees and a particular kind of citrus flowers and verbena. Now, I don't really know one flower from the next, but I definitely get a strong sense. It's got that really beautiful, sweet floral bouquet on the nose. Now, remember, it is not a sweet wine because it's actually quite low dosage at 5.8 grams per litre, but that floral smell gives it that beautiful floral sweetness just on the nose. Completely different when you actually taste the champagne. And again, this to me, it feels more powerful than the non-vintage. It definitely comes across as a stronger style of champagne. It's really very creamy. It's still beautiful and light and fresh, really getting a stronger sense now of it being low dosage, just getting that little bit, that edge that I get with low dosage champagnes. It's a bit chalky, a bit dry on the palate, but not too dry. Absolutely beautiful. And I can imagine, depending what I ate with this champagne, that would probably bring out different flavors and different profiles as well. When I first tried it, as often happens, it was a bit cold and it was a bit fresh, but I let it sit and open up and warm up for a little bit, and it was really, really beautiful. So super, super exciting to have a new champagne here on the market in Australia. So you can find this, and I'll put information for you about it on the website as well, but you can get this from Mix and Simply Wines online. So the Grand Cru vintage retails about $150 and the non-vintage is about $100. So, but really, really high quality champagnes. And, you know, for my mind, if you really want to wow some guests that you've got coming up and pour something that they've very unlikely to have tried before, this is one of those champagnes that in Australia you can still do that with. So go out, get yourself some of the Blanc de Blanc before the Rosé and Ratafia arrive on the market, and I'll come back and report back on how they go as well. These champagnes, I love them. Thank you so much to Brian for being a dead set legend and boring me, or letting me bore him to tears with my emails about champagne and answering all my questions, and also for sending me the bucket and my gorgeous little storybook here as well. Ciao for now.